Okay.
All right, hello. We're here at CES at the IMC Pavilion with member Finite State and founder and the CEO, Matt Wyckhouse. So Matt, you're in a great space. Tell us a little bit about Finite State quickly and why this is an important place for you.
Well, I'll start by saying thanks for having me. I always love working with IMC and being at CES, where we get to see all of the amazing innovations that our customers are putting out into the world, like really driving innovation, automation, everything from robotics to drones to medical devices. It's super exciting to see. And what's really great is to know that we're finally at this point in time where the world cares a lot about the security of all those things. We can't have all of these nice things if they're not secure. We can't do all of this amazing innovation if it's not secure. And so that's what we do at Finite State. We help all of these companies who are here driving technology forward. We help them do that securely by making sure all of the software and their devices are designed, built, and supported in a secure way.
Great. Now, you're being helped out, of course, with new regulations like the EU Cyber Resilience Act, and it's really reshaping the way companies have to stay focused on this. What's kind of changing in their daily lives?
Well, we've gone from, for a lot of the history of the company and a lot of the just recent history in general, security was more of an optional thing when it came to consumer electronics. Everyone thinks of IoT as being inherently insecure. Everyone's used to the fact that your devices could get hacked, it could steal your personal information, but as we've become more dependent on them and they become more critical to our lives, it has become more important for governments to step in and say, no. We need to make sure that these things are all secure. We need to look out for our populations, for citizens around the world, and make sure that they're not being compromised by the security of all these devices. So we've seen these regulations come into play. They've been announced for quite a while. We all knew they were coming. But what's happening in 2026 is they're becoming real. And every company that is building these products needs to invest in the security of those products because it is mandated. It is not an option. Every single one of these companies that's here right now has to invest in that security because the EU has said through the Cyber Resilience Act, you must do several things. You must have no exploitable vulnerabilities in your products when you take them to market. You must have a cybersecurity program in place. You must do a risk assessment. You must have an SBOM. All of these things that have been best practice are now required.
So things have changed, because if you look at the last 10 or 15 years of IoT, like you said, people kind of expected the worst.
Yes.
But people can now say, hey, I'm compliant. Or if you're an enterprise consuming IoT, you might say, I hope to be compliant.
Exactly.
What's really changing in terms of making sure you're compliant and complying to the rules and regulations?
I would say if we went back maybe 2 years, the program that the CRA designed would have been considered best in class for anyone, large or small companies. The type of security investment required is a very high bar. Right. So what we're seeing is everyone is trying to go from wherever they were, and it could be large companies that had a nascent security program to small startups who never had to invest in security. They're starting at some level, and they're having to rise to that level of where the CRA is. So we're seeing many investments happening. We're seeing automation being invested in the DevSecOps process, so securing devices as the software is being built. Finite State is offering agentic workflows to monitor the security of your product as it's being built, so that as soon as something goes outside of compliance, you're alerted. We're doing a lot of work with our team and our customers to help educate them on all of the requirements. It's been a pretty fluid situation with the CRA and other regulations, so we have a team that just stays on top of those regulations to make sure that all of our customers can be ready as soon as everything is formalized. So it's been a lot of exciting times, a lot of work, but what has been really, really rewarding is to see that so many companies are rising to the occasion and are clearing the bar and are delivering secure products in a way that we haven't seen before.
Well, for sure your customers are aware. And you say so many,
yes.
So many compared to a few years ago.
Exactly.
But there's an infinite amount of customers that really need to be aware.
Yes.
What do they need to do now if they're just becoming aware of the EU policies? What do they need to do next?
Yeah, it might seem like a daunting task. And if you tried to do everything that's required and you try to do that manually, it would be daunting. It would take a very large investment to do that. The first step is to figure out what platforms you're going to use to help automate this process. There are not enough humans in the world who know product security to solve the problems of being compliant with the CRA. There's too many companies, too many products in the market to do this manually. It's just not possible. So number one is figure out what your tooling is. Figure out how to automate as much of this as possible. Whether you're using GitHub for your software, figure out how to integrate security scans into that. Generate SBOMs as part of the life cycle. Monitor your vulnerabilities and keep them in a system of record. It can be as simple as spreadsheets if you need to, or it can be a platform like Finite State where you pull all this together and then start looking at those requirements. They're published. You can download them from the EU. Make sure you have a plan to get there in the time frame that you have, and you've got maybe 12 to 18 months to work on it right now. If you have gaps in your security posture, which everyone does, you need to get a plan in place to start closing those.
All right, well, very good. So I know IMC is very involved in trying to promote the need for this and to come up with some assistance tools. If I need to find out more information, if I'm a customer, they reach out to Finite State, they can reach out to IMC.
Absolutely.
But this has been great. You're in a great spot, in a needed spot, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Fred. This has been fantastic. Really appreciate it.
You bet. Take care,
All right.
Matt.
Thank you.